Mary Beth, who wrote the book about Tippy, was nice enough to invite me to join you guys for a little bit. I work at Homeward Bound, which is Middlebury's in Addison County's animal shelter. Have you guys ever been to Homeward Bound? Yeah.
Excellent.
We just went there.
Oh, yay.
Oh, cool.
So we are just down the street a ways, a little bit on the south end of town, and just like Tippy came all the way up from Mississippi to Massachusetts, where Mary Beth lives, Homeward Bound also takes dogs from the south and gives them another chance in New England, because there's more homes up here and there aren't as many dogs, and so it's a great way for Vermont and other states, Massachusetts, Maine, New Hampshire, to help the states that still just have too many pets. We had 7 dogs come from southern states on Wednesday. We had 4 puppies and 3 grown-up dogs, and they're all adopted. So just like Tippy, they are in their new homes. But can you share with me the rule of 3s that you were telling me about? Because I think this is a really important thing if you bring a new animal into your home, whether it's a dog or a cat. It's a great way to remember that everything takes time.
Yes. Well, I think it helps to think about all of the transitions that these dogs make from the dog's point of view. They get scooped up and put on a truck and sent north, and suddenly there they are in a home environment where nothing smells familiar, nothing looks familiar, the food is different, the voices that they hear are different, the noises that they hear are different. It's very disconcerting and scary for the dogs. So at first they're very cautious and on their best behavior, and it takes them a while to relax. And so they say 3 days, 3 weeks, 3 months. So 3 days they kind of decompress. After about 3 weeks, in my experience, what happens is they think, oh, this looks permanent. And then they try to get away with things. And then in about 3 months, they really settle in and you see the real dog. So if you think in your family about adopting an animal, I hope, remember, no matter how tough it gets, 3 days, 3 weeks, 3 months. Because Tippy definitely, the reason this book exists is because Tippy was so challenging to me that I would write emails to my friends and they all started, you won't believe what he did today. And then they said, you should write a book. So that's how Tippy's story came into being.
It's such an important point. Do you guys know those little toys that when they're squished up bits of sponge and you drop them in a glass of water and all of a sudden you have a dinosaur or a kitten or whatever it might be? I always tell people, don't expect that when you adopt an animal, because that's like Instapet. It's suddenly there, it's suddenly perfect. But it's like making a new friend or having a baby brother or sister join your family. It takes time to get used to and to feel normal. And that's definitely what adopting a dog is like, or a cat.
Or a cat. So should we read the book?
Mm-hmm.
Let's read the book. And if you want to get closer, you can, because I would like everyone to see the beautiful illustrations, because they are so pretty.
There's plenty of pillows on the floor.
There are pillows. Get comfortable.
Pull that chair out. Yeah. You want this chair? You can put it here. Phoebe, you want a chair for him? You alright?
You can. So this story begins with these 2 pages, and it says, this is a true story. Does this look like anyone that you may have just met? Does this look like anything? This is a picture of me, actually. You don't know me very well yet, so. My word, thought Tippy the terrier. Where in the world am I? He knew he was supposed to be finding his forever home, but he had never imagined anything like this. He was in a cage in the back of a big truck filled with other dogs in cages. Some were sleeping, some were pacing, some were howling, and some were yowling, but Tippy just sat quietly. Where am I going, he wondered. Just where is this forever home I am supposed to find? After traveling for hours and hours, sometimes napping, but sometimes just worrying, Tippy found himself in a busy building filled with people and dogs. What a hubbub, he thought to himself. But time passed, and after a good meal and a good night's sleep, Tippy woke up feeling refreshed and ready to go. Maybe this is the day, he thought, the day I find my forever family. Before long, a nice woman and nice man came into the room. They led Tippy to their car and introduced him to a little brown dog named Susie. "Tippy," the nice woman said, "we're going to be your foster family. You'll stay with us while you search for your forever home." "Oh dear," thought Tippy, "a foster family? I thought I was supposed to find a forever family." But Tippy was a polite little dog, so he looked at Susie and said, "Hello, Susie," all the while thinking to himself, "Look at her ears. They're huge. Her ears make me laugh." But then he saw her collar. "Oh my," he exclaimed to himself, "what a beautiful collar. It's purple, and her name is stitched on it with pink thread. I've never seen anything quite so fine." Tippy's foster family brought him to their house in the woods where he met Toby the cat. "Oh dear," thought Tippy, "a cat. I know all about cats. They're kind of snooty and particular, and they know nothing about how to play. I'll just avoid him and hope that my forever family doesn't have a cat." The nice woman and nice man showed Tippy all around their house in the woods. He found toys to play with, comfy beds to sleep in, and a big yard, perfect for playing fetch and chase. But Tippy was a handful. He wasn't a bad dog, but he was a busy dog. He ran through the house, ate the garbage, chewed the furniture, tore up the toys, stepped on Toby the cat, and wriggled under the fence 3 times in one day. He snored when he slept, and he bounced when he was awake. There was simply no slowing him down. The nice woman and nice man set to work trying to teach Tippy manners. "Sit, sit," they repeated. "Come, stay." "That doesn't sound like much fun, all that sitting and coming and staying," thought Tippy. "I'd much rather romp and run around the house." And so he did. And as Tippy and Susie began to get to know each other, it was a little rocky at first. "Grr," said Tippy, "that's my toy. I saw it first." "No, it isn't," said Susie, "it's my toy. I was here before you." "Grr," said Susie, the first time Tippy tried to jump up into the nice man's lap for a nap. "That's my papa, not yours. You get out of here." "Shish," said Tippy, "that's not very nice." But he jumped down and curled up in a corner of the room. "She hears everything with those big ears of hers," he grumbled to himself. "Tippy, Susie, please," said the nice woman. "You're both wrong. Here at the house in the woods we have plenty of toys and plenty of laps. In fact, we have plenty of love. There is more than enough love for everyone. We'll have no more of this foolishness between the 2 of you." So Tippy and Susie began the process of learning to share. They shared toys and laps, yummy treats and car rides, walks in the big woods, and naps in front of the fireplace. Out in the world, Tippy made friends everywhere he went. "Hi," he said, "I'm Tippy. Who are you?" And everyone would smile. And then one day, when the nice woman asked Tippy and Susie to sit, Tippy just sat. And no one was more surprised than he was. "Hey," said Tippy, "look at me. I can do this. I can do this." And a proud little smile came over his terrier face. But all the while he thought about his forever home. Where are they, this forever family of mine, he wondered. What will they be like, and how will I find them? How will they find me here in this house in the woods? One day, a volunteer from the animal rescue organization called the nice woman. "We're trying to find the perfect family for Tippy. And since you know him better than anyone, we hope you can help us. Can you describe his perfect forever home? Where would he be happiest?" So the nice woman sat down with a pencil and started to think. "Well," she said to herself, "Tippy needs lots of love, but he also needs some rules. He needs someone who will take him places and train him to be a good dog. He'd love a doggy brother or sister, and he loves playing and car rides and running in the woods. Oh dear, she thought to herself, and she went to talk to the nice man. When I sat down to write a description of the perfect home for Tippy, she said, it ended up sounding exactly like our home. Oh no, said the nice man. He's a rascal. A scamp, she added, and a terror. He's a handful. They went on and on until the nice man finally sputtered, that little dog is well, he's a rapscallion. You're right, said the nice woman. Tippy is all of those things. He is a rascal and a scamp and a terror and even a rapscallion. But at this point, it feels like he's our rapscallion. He needs us, but I think we need him too. Things have gotten entirely too quiet and calm around here. Tippy shakes things up, but in a good way. And he's come so far. Just look how happy he makes Susie. She can be shy, but Tippy leads the way and shows her how to make new friends. They sat quietly for a few minutes, and then they made their decision. That night at bedtime, the nice woman and nice man began to tuck all the animals into their beds. Good night, Toby the cat, they said. Sweet dreams. Good night, Susie, they said. Sweet dreams. Tippy, they said, this is for you. And they handed Tippy a small, carefully wrapped package. Tippy tore it open, and there was a beautiful red collar with his name stitched in blue thread. For me, said Tippy. For me? Really? Yes, really, they said. Your search is over. You found your forever home, and it is right here with all of us. We'll keep you and take good care of you. You and Susie can run and play and snuggle forever. Tippy looked up at both of them and his brown eyes sparkled. I get to stay here in the house in the woods with you and Susie and Toby the cat? That means my search is over. I found my forever home, and it is right here with all of you. This is the best news ever. And a happy tear trickled down the side of his little terrier nose. That's right, Tippy. Welcome to the family. From now on, we will be your mama and papa, just like we are to Susie and Toby the cat. Oh, good, said Tippy, as he buried his head in his snuggly doggy bed and looked forward to happy doggy dreams. Oh, good, said Susie, as she did the same, dreaming of days and days of chasing Tippy through the woods and across the fields. Oh dear, said Toby the cat. I guess he isn't leaving after. That's where the story ends. Thank you for being such wonderful listeners. Does anyone have any questions about Tippy or about dogs or about adopting dogs? Did you know what was coming? Could you predict the end of the story? Anyone? A big surprise? I have, so there are a couple of things. I have a Tippy song. Does anyone like to sing and move and bounce around a little bit? Yes, yay! Adults too. All right. So, well, I'll show you how it goes. I'm like Tippy. I can jump and play. Wiggle, wiggle, wag my tail all the day. Easy, right? Easy. And then there are motions that go along with it, and they go like this. I'm like Tippy. I can jump and play. Wiggle, wiggle, wag my tail all the day. Who wants to stand up and sing with me? Good. There's one. All right. Let's try it again. I'm like Tippy. I can jump and play. Wiggle, wiggle, wag my tail all the day. So we have Tippy jumping and playing. Tippy could do other things though. Can you think of something else Tippy might do?
Bark.
Bark. He might bark. He might bark. All right, let's try that. I'm like Tippy. I can bark and play. Wiggle, wiggle, wag my tail all the day. Do you think Tippy could wave? Could he wave? Let's see if maybe Tippy can wave. You pay attention now. Maybe he'll wave. I'm like Tippy. I can wave and play. Wiggle, wiggle, wag my tail all the day. Nice job. You're learning it. Anybody have one more idea about something? Oh, yes.
A dog can give high fives.
He doesn't know how to do that yet, but I bet we could sing that. We'll see how it all falls in. I'm like Tippy. I can give high fives. Wiggle, wiggle, wag my tail all the day. Nice job. All right, well, thank you, everyone. I have in my bag with many exciting things, I have postcards, if people would like a postcard with a picture of Tippy. And I also have mazes. Now that you've heard the story, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, who knows? Oh no, Tippy has lost his collar. Can you help him find it? Would you like a maze? And I think we can do that here in the store, or you can take it home with you if you'd like to do that, whatever you would. You're welcome. There you go. Any other, you don't have to be a child to enjoy these. They're very therapeutic and relaxing. There we go. Beautiful. Thank you. You're welcome. And thank you all for coming. It was wonderful to have so many people here to see us.
They're for sale. Should we get one?
Would you like a Tippy postcard too? Oh, of course you can. Postcard? How about a Tippy postcard, Patty? So, does anyone have any questions? I don't want you guys to think that you're left out.
She actually asked if she could have one.
Of course you can. Of course you can. Yes, honey.
How did you train him?
How do we train him? That's a very good question, because training a dog is one of the most important things about dog ownership, I think. Dogs really like to know that someone is in charge of them. They're very happy to have someone let them know what the rules are. So we trained him by taking him to a little class with 4 or 5 other dogs. And one of the first things he learned was his name. We taught him that ourselves. And it's very simple to teach a dog his name. All you do is say his name, and when he looks at you, you give him a treat. You say that word again, and he looks at you, and you give him a treat. And within 20 minutes, he knows that that word, Tippy, means something good is coming. And he learned things like sit, which is very important. I have Tippy and our other dog, Susie, sit before they go outside to play. I make them sit at the door. When we have people come to our house, I have both dogs sit at the entryway and wait for people. So Tippy knows sit, and Tippy knows stay, and Tippy also knows, no one does anything without getting something. There is nothing, you don't get anything for free in this world. So Tippy, I'll show you his one little trick. Ready for this, buddy?
He looks so
Think he knows what's coming? Tippy, can you sit pretty? Sit pretty. Oh! Nice. Very nice. Would you like an encore performance of that sit pretty? Of course you
It'll be
would.
super easy to learn high five when you do that stuff.
Sit pretty.
I almost did it.
Oh, very good.
And when we first got him, I thought he would never learn that because he was so hungry all the time. I would take the treat, and put it over his head, and I thought I would lose a finger, so I thought, well, maybe he'll never learn.
Do you have any idea how Tippy first got to the shelter in Mississippi?
I have no idea. He was what they call an owner surrender. So that means someone in Mississippi couldn't take care of him. We don't know why. Many times I've wondered what his life was like, and then sometimes I think, well, maybe it's best if I don't know what his life was like, and he had a fresh start with us. Tippy also was very sick, and he had a disease called heartworm. And he was treated for it down south, but he wasn't treated the way we treat dogs in the north for it. And so he tested positive again, and he had to go through heartworm treatment. So if any of you have dogs and you think it's not important to give them their heartworm medication, I will tell you that heartworm treatment is traumatic and long, difficult.
When I want down to eat, he doesn't sit.
Your dog doesn't sit?
Now when I say him to sit.
Really?
Dog is a mutt.
Is a mutt? Well, so's Tippy. He's a big mutt. Well, maybe you just need to practice a little more with your dog. What do you think?
What's your dog's name?
Banshee.
Banshee. That sounds like a dog who might not want to sit all the time, right?
Did you give Tippy a birthday? I always wonder about that when you don't actually know when your pet's birthday is. How do you celebrate?
But it's kind of hard. We did give him a birthday. We decided that the day that he was surrendered down south was his birthday. It's the only date that we know. So his birthday is May 31st, and so that makes him 7, if we can believe anything about anything. And when we took him to our veterinarian and said, you know, we think he's about this old. What do you think? And he said, yeah, I think that's about right. So it's all kind of a guess. But it does show us how very resilient dogs are. And like human beings, you know, with love and security, they can thrive. As Tippy has really thrived with us.
It's devoted.
He's an awesome little guy.
How long have you had Tippy for?
We have had Tippy, it'll be 2 years at the end of October. And it really was about 3 months. I had lots of nights when I said, we have done the wrong thing. This is just a mistake. I like to tell this story. You know the styrofoam plates that chicken comes on?
Yeah.
And then you know the squishy stuff that absorbs the chicken juice, right? So Tippy got a hold of not only the styrofoam plate, but the squishy thing. And he was in the backyard, running around the backyard, and he was chewing it, and it was disappearing down his throat, and I was chasing him, and he's little and small, and I am neither of those things. And I finally got hold of him, and I picked him up, put him in my arms, and I reached in to get the last of what was going down his throat, and down came those jaws into my finger to protect that prize, you know. And I went into the house, and I called the vet and said, what do I do? And that was the day that we learned what a tablespoon of hydrogen peroxide does to a dog's tummy. If you ever need to know, you get a tablespoon of hydrogen peroxide down their throat, and then you take them for a long walk somewhere outside. We got that all done, and I came into the house and I sat at the table with my husband, and I have been involved with rescue for 4 or 5 years, and I've been a foster, and I've volunteered, and I do home visits, and I tell people all the time, there's going to be a day when you say, I want my life back. And knowing all that day I sat at the kitchen table with my husband, and I put my head on the table and I said, I want my life back. So it takes 3 days, 3 weeks, 3 months. What can I say? No. Well, thank you very much. You've all been so nice. Thank you for coming. And kids, thank you for listening so well.
Their maze here and take